If this administration is so good, why do we have to save democracy? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard. It is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, September the 22nd. And of course, we continue to hear that Kamala Harris, or Comrade Harris, is going to save democracy. And my question is why does democracy need to be saved? Everybody tells me what a great job President Biden has done. And of course, his right-hand person, Kamala Harris, or Comrade Harris, says, hey, we're doing great. Well, again, I have to ask, if we think that they've done a good job, and I have to say that I don't believe that they have. I believe that they have done one of the worst jobs in the history of this country. Okay, I think they've created more hatred, more issues, more problems. Okay, but again, hey, that's up to you. You have your own opinion, but I guess if Trump is starting to lose to Kamala, why do they keep trying to kill him? So obviously there's a problem that we see that, of course, there's continued attacks on President Trump. And again, whether you vote for who you want for, again, it depends on what you want to live. I don't care who you vote for. I just think that, again, if you look at some of the facts around what's going on, this economy ain't in such great shape. This country is in horrible shape. But again, if you want to be a communist, hey, God bless. It's all good by me. But of course, Wharton School of Business shoots down Kamala Harris's claim that she'll strengthen the economy. Well, I don't know. I guess, do you believe in Wharton? Again, or do you believe in the word salad that she continues to spew? She ain't said shit in the 4 or 5 times she's been on. She even had to be called out by ultra-liberal Oprah Winfrey. So again, I think they're seeing that she's going to go into the same routine as President Biden did, which is hiding in the basement until the election is over, until they can figure out how to rig it and steal it. But, again, we look at this. Fortunately, some states are getting smart, and Oklahoma removes 450 ineligible voters. However, Georgia and a couple of others, North Carolina, are not removing them. Now, again, don't you believe that if you need an ID to get on a plane, if you need an ID to go to Costco, you shouldn't need an ID to vote? Is that not something that's more important than anything else? I got to ask you. I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But of course, there appears to be no ceasefire in Gaza. And of course, Israel just bombed and took care of some business, which I think they have to do. They're not getting any support from this administration. And of course, President Biden's a racist piece of shit anyways. So again, and this is not an opinion. That's fact. Just go back and look at every vote he's ever made when it came to a racist vote. Okay. Mortgage rates. We have the wonderful Federal Reserve. Okay. The criminals who have basically stolen America over the last 111 years. And of course, the Federal Reserve started by Paul Warburg, the Rothschild family, JP Morgan, and the Rockefellers. And they've been stealing from us ever since. But of course, stealing from on the central bank side, and the central banking system goes back to the 1600s in England. But once again, they cut rates, okay, for no reason, which means that we're going to see inflation spike, which means that you're going to be paying more tax through the hidden tax of inflation. But interestingly enough, last week, mortgage rates went up with a rate cut. So what does that tell you? Again, once again, you're watching the destruction of a free market, of the capitalistic system, and you're allowing the major players to take over the country, BlackRock and Meta and Google, that, again, think about it, okay? You don't hear a lot of poor people coming out and endorsing the current administration. You don't see them thriving. You see, if you listen to the chairman of the board of Darden Restaurant, which is Olive Garden and the likes, they're telling you that those that earn under $100,000 a year can't come to their restaurants anymore. Because, of course, $100,000 a year today is virtually nothing. And I think that, again, we continue to ignore the problems that are created. Okay. But, the Democrats' war on America, listen, they're trying to destroy it. Who's running this country right now? Think about that. Who is running the country now? You have a president who doesn't appear anywhere anymore. Okay, we know that he's got Alzheimer's. You have a vice president who has not done anything in the 3.5 years that she's been a part of this. Okay, she's showed you that she destructed San Francisco and turned it into a cesspool. Okay, we have more criminals on the streets running around. So who is running this country anyways? The war on America, the Democratic Party right now, with the likes of AOC and the rest of the squad, has been at war with America since they got elected. Okay, look, it's up to you. But if you can't see that they're trying to get globalism, they're trying to destroy the free market way of America, okay, then you really should think about it. I mean, I just think you look at it, and of course, how is Google helping stealing the election along with Meta? Well, of course, they have those stupid retargeting ads, and they had that retargeting those algorithms that eliminate free speech. It eliminates the ability for someone to come out and say something from the conservative side. Now, again, as you know or don't care, but I am in the middle, and I have voted on both sides. I don't have a problem with that. I want what's best for the country. And certainly, going into Marxism or communism or socialism or globalism, to me, is not what's best for this country. Okay? You give up the free market system, which is exactly what you're doing, and you're giving up competition. You're going to start paying more prices for shittier goods. Okay? But again, keep thinking the way you can, keep being brainwashed by the morons in the media. Okay? That again, we've got both. We've got left media, we got right media. And at the end of the day, they're all shit. But there's a hell of a lot more left media out there that is taking control. And again, I think that you can see that we are seeing the stealing of America, which is basically what the Federal Reserve had in store way back when. And if you want a reference, you can read The Creature from Jekyll Island, okay, which was where the Federal Reserve was created. But what they have done this week and what they've done in the history, as far as I know, is nothing. Okay. They are people that might have been smart, and I'm sure educationally very smart, but either have no common sense, don't want to have any common sense, but when they become a member of the Fed, they become an instant fucking moron. Okay. But again, I think here we have ICE detains illegal migrant accused of raping preteen in Nantucket more than a month after he was out on bail. Now, why are we letting criminals out on bail? Where is the law and order in this country? Okay. Are you happy? Are you a happy person knowing that any given time and place you could get attacked by somebody? I mean, look at what's going on, not only in the world, but look what's going on right here in this country as we continue to see the takeover of illegal immigration. Okay, that you're getting the benefit to pay for, that you're getting the benefit to get to take care of these people. And I don't know what's going on in Springfield, Ohio. Okay, again, I'm not saying there is or there isn't, but I know that Vivek Ramaswamy has talked a little bit about some of the things. He lives in that area. Okay, and it ain't good. Okay, that's the real truth of the matter. There's a lot of things that ain't good. Okay, and certainly, as Americans, we can do better. And of course, the New York COVID czar, is a drug czar, the COVID czar, okay, attended drug-fueled lockdown sex parties while crafting policy to force vaccinations. I don't know. You tell me. Okay, you tell me. We got a trans in the White House as an officer. We've got the COVID czar at drug parties. We got Fauci, who's an idiot. Okay. And this whole COVID thing was a bunch of bullshit anyways. Okay. It was nothing more than a cold and a flu. Just look at the statistics. You don't have to take my word for it. Go look at the difference in the shift. And it was all about the money, and which it always is. And it was a disease or a form of chemical warfare that was sent over here from China. But at the end of the day, it was nothing more than a cold or a flu. And the people that really died from COVID, not the bullshit that you saw from the hospitals, but the people that really died from COVID would have died from pneumonia or the flu anyways. They were high-risk people that had the same risk from a cold, flu, or pneumonia anyways. So in the meantime, let's keep destroying this country. Let's keep destroying our freedom, because we are raising a generation of morons that cannot think for themselves. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Top Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, the 22nd of September. Let's step out here for a break, and we'll be back with our market report right after the break. Well, kids, what's going on? And of course, you know that I have a couple of sponsors, and you know they are brokerage sponsors. And again, I'm not telling you to take them or not take them. I'm telling you to check them out because you might find it might be better. But I'm also saying to you that I do have other brokers. So if you don't like them, again, don't switch. I just think that I give you, information that will help you do better for yourself. In the meantime, Capital Trading Group is one of them, who does all of our futures and commodities. And we do a lot of letter direction trading with them. And we have just made one of the most dramatic improvements in some of our programs that I'm so excited to talk to everybody about. But in the meantime, check them out. They're on the side. And of course, Trader Brokerage. Many of you might have been on that. It's the webinar I did this week for Trader or with Trader. And of course, hey, it's $10 a month. Saves me over $100,000 a year in commission. Certainly worth checking out. And we can automate a lot of our programs through them. If you choose to do so, that is up to you. You get full control. But in the meantime, and then of course our high school program, check them out. High school on the bottom, CTG and Trader on the sides. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and of course our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. And of course, as we stroll into last week's markets, and it's interesting, it's been a little bit choppy, and I thought that maybe we'd finally reach the pinnacle. But of course, the markets were up again last week. Now we were long the week. So again, it's not like it was a penalty for us. And again, that's why we don't fight the overall market. We do go flat, we do trade it. But at the end of the day, I think we're pretty much close to an end here. I think you're seeing some of this held up. I think you're going to see some very strange things going into the election because, of course, the incumbent party always wants to have a strong market so that people can think that they are doing well. I don't think that they can hide from this time. And again, that doesn't mean that they're not going to win. I'm just saying that I don't think they can hide from a lot of the facts that are out there. But the markets hold up. And that's one thing you always have to remember about markets. They don't care what the economy is doing at the time. Okay? The markets are ahead of the economy typically. So we'll see. In the meantime, we would be long the four major indexes. During the week, we were flat, some of them. But again, I'm giving you the position before tomorrow's opening because, again, I have to redo. Some of it is to be whether we'll be in or be flat. But the four major indices, we would be long. Okay. The euro currency, which we have been short, we're going to reverse over to long. The dollar, we don't trade anymore, but we would be reversing to short. Bitcoin, we are long. Okay. Crude, we are going to reverse over to long. Natural gas, we have been long. In the bonds and notes, we would be long. Okay. In natural gas, I think I said we're long. Gold and silver and platinum, we would be long. Okay, the grains, corn, wheat, and soybeans, we would be long. In the meats, we don't trade them at all anymore. I am still short cattle. I am still long hogs. Okay, in the softs, we would be short cocoa, short OJ, long sugar, long coffee, long OJ. I think I said OJ twice. Cotton and cocoa, we would be short. Okay. But at the end of the day, again, it doesn't really matter. I think the markets are the markets and they're going to do what they're going to do. But I think that, remember, short term, if you're trading it, you're looking for one thing, a trigger to do something. But we still know that year over year in history, the markets have gone higher. So when you do get big sells, which I do think there's one on the way, I think you look for opportunities to buy. But at the end of the day, I think you're watching a lot of destruction that has been brought to you by your Federal Reserve, okay, because this interest cut is going to create inflation, as we said earlier. This interest rate cut is going to be a disaster. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. Let's step out here for our final break and come back with our commentary and, of course, our football picks. Bubba's Bottom Line, Sunday, September the 22nd. Well, kids, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. As you know, I do this every week, and I always tell you I always shorten the commercial on the second half. In the meantime, Trader Brokerage, Capital Trading Group, size, high school program on the bottom. And now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, my commentary. Welcome back. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, September the 22nd. And of course, I always got something to say. And of course, pretty much the whole show is a little bit of my commentary with some headlines thrown in. But I always get interested by, the hatred in this country and what people are willing to do and say. And do you think you're going to actually change my mind as to what I'm happy to listen to what anybody has to say, but you think you're actually going to change what I think about what's going on in this country? You're really not. Okay. And I'm not asking you to change what you're thinking. I'm giving you what I see as either my opinion or as facts. There's a mixed in between. But somebody sends me, how's your DJT stock doing? Well, first of all, I don't own DJT stock. I trade it occasionally, but I don't really care about the stock. When are you going to admit Trump is a loser? Well, I don't know. I wouldn't consider a guy who won the president out of nowhere and is a millionaire or almost a billionaire, I guess, and been attacked and taken on by every major force and is still standing. Been tried to assassinate it twice, so I wouldn't call that a loser. You may not like him, and certainly his pompous attitude certainly didn't help in the last election. Your grandkids will look back and someday and say, how could Grandpa support this guy with all that fraud? I got to tell you something. Anybody who wants to call Donald J. Trump a fraud, take a look at your own goddamn party. Take a look at what's going on in this country right now that is filled with fraud, filled with stealing, and that isn't Donald J. Trump. Okay, but go ahead, keep mouthing off with bullshit. Okay, because you're totally wrong. Sexual conviction and bankruptcy lies. Well, the sexual conviction. Let's not talk about Clinton or any of the others that have had sexual. And again, I know I'm not getting into that. I can read the headlines like everybody else. Bankruptcy, that was within the law. Okay, same as the tax code. Okay, again, they didn't break the law, but to read the laws. Okay, that's the problem. You people don't want to listen to what the laws are. Okay, just like the immigration, you don't want to follow what the laws are for immigration that President Obama said. But keep filing this bullshit. It's all good. Okay. Overturn an election, I happen to agree that the election was stolen. I don't necessarily agree with what happened on January 6th, but hey, it is what it is. Stolen and classified files. Oh, did Joe Biden have files in his garage? I forgot. Again, let's go and keep blaming President Trump and not look at the other people. Okay, that is the typical of somebody who's on the left that wants to blame. Again, I have a lot of friends and I have a lot of high-ranking friends that are on the left, and we can have an honest discussion. But obviously, people who send stuff in like this can't have an honest discussion. They're constantly on the attack without wanting to listen to anything. Okay, and the closing was more lawsuits coming, and I know you're smart in this. No, I guess I'm not smart in this because I would never support the current administration because I think they've done nothing but cripple America. But hey, if you're happy with what's going on with the destruction of the middle class, God bless America. But of course, pretty soon you continue to believe and continue to support the shit that is out there. Okay, whichever side it is, what you're going to find out is you're going to be the CCP of the United States of America. So you want communism? Keep it up. I love you all. In the meantime, it is time for our football picks, which have been a little bit off this year so far. But again, there's always time to turn it around. And tonight, we like Green Bay, Philadelphia, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Have a great weekend, everybody. As always, I thank you. And remember that they're stealing America, and I hope that you're out there to protect us. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.